Very good morning to everyone. In this lecture, EC8791 Embedded and Real-Time Systems, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, 7th semester. Today, we are going to discuss about the topic Designing with the Computing Platform in Embedded System. In previous classes, we are studied the what are the embedded system design processing techniques, design example of model train controller and elevator designs, and what are the designing methodology, how to interfacing the different type of additional interfacing units. Now today we discuss the designing with the computing platform in embedded system. First of all, a platform is a abstraction layer that hid the details of several possible implementation refinement of the underlying layers. It is a library of elements characterized by models that represent their functionalities and offer an estimation of qualities that are the important for the designer. So the library contains the interconnections and rules that defined what are the legal composition of elements. A legal composition of elements and interconnections is called a platform. So the platform based design is a meet in the middle process where successive refinement of specifications. So the interplay of top down constraint propagation and bottom up performance estimation in the every design process is a platform. The platform is a micro architecture platform in embedded system design. So also the three application of the platform based design, that is a system level and model level and fault tolerance platforms. The fault tolerance platforms for the design of a safety critical application at the implementation level. So the platform design is a derivation design in embedded network. It is a motivations behind the platform based design originated from three major factors that characteristics by the evaluation of the electronics industry. So the disaggregation of the electronic industry is a phenomenon that began about the decade ago and has affected the structure of the electronics industry. Here, the design with the platform, that is a computing platform in embedded system design, the system architecture. We can focus on this system architecture level. The architecture of an embedded computing system include both hardware and software elements. What are the hardware elements and what are the software elements? So hardware elements is already know the primary components of CPU. It is the choice of CPU is one of the most important, but it can be considered the software that will execute on the machine. And then buses. The choice of buses is closely tied to that of CPU. Bus can handle the traffic. Then memory. The selection of depends total size and speed of the memory will play a large part of determining the system performance. And also the finally of the system architecture in hardware components, input and output devices. It depends upon the system requirements. Now we can move to the software requirements. It is a runtime components. It is a critical part of the platform. It is a computing platform level. And an operating system is required to control the CPU, and it is multi-process. So a file system is used in many embedded systems to organize the internal data and interface with the other systems. Now what are the supporting components? It is a complex hardware platform. Without proper code development, there is no way of protocol and operating systems. The hardware itself, unless there is a useless elements. So the major delays in the new product have been causes of several economic problem for a number of companies. The cost of the complexity of application specific integrated designs has caused several system companies to reduce the substantially or to eliminate the complete their IC design effort. So the platform based design has emerged over the year as a way of coping with the problems listed above. The term the platform has been used in several domains, from several provider to the system companies, from tied one supplier to IC companies. In particular, IC companies has been very active lately to expose the platforms. The platform of cellular phones. So the basic platform based design or the identification of design as a meeting in the middle process where successive refinement of the specifications meet with the abstraction of potential implementations. Then the identification of the precious defined layer where the refinement and abstraction process take place. Each layer support a design state providing an abstraction of lower layer that allows the accurate performance estimations. This information is incorporated in appreciate parameters that donate the design choices the present layer of the abstraction. This layer, this layer of abstraction are called the platform. It is a role in the design process and their solidity. Here, a platform is a library of components that can be assembled to generate the design at the level of abstraction. So, we can select the library not only contain the computational block that carry out the appreciate computation but also communicate the component that are used to interconnect the functionality components. That is a functional components. Each element of library has characteristics in terms of performance. Together with the functionality it can support. For every platform level, there is a set of method used to map the upper layer of the abstraction into the platform and a set of method used to estimate the performance of lower level abstractions. That is a top down and bottom up. The top down is a map and instantaneous of the top platform into an instantaneous of the lower platform and propagate the constraints. Now the bottom up, it is a platform by defining the library, the characteristics and the performance abstractions. For example, the number of liters for technology independent or optimization, area and propagation delay for a cell in standard cell libraries. So, a platform instance is a set of architecture components that are selected from the library and whose parameters are used. That only depends upon the architectures. So, we are selecting the hardware, we are selecting the software. It is based upon the abstraction, that is a level of abstraction. These are the platform of the embedded system. So here the platform stack is a pair of platform along with the tools and methods that are used to map the upper layer of the abstraction into the lower level. So we can allow a platform stack to include several subtract to a large number of abstractions. So in this lecture we are discussing the design of platforms in embedded system. In upcoming classes we are going to discuss the ARM processors and peripherals. Thank you for watching this video.